I might be on for a minute before I do anything. Wait, I'm already doing something. Dun, 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 dun. Well, the creativity has been exquisite. I have been waiting for this spot for. Okay, just testing the sound. Okay, let's start with a song. It is 9:22 a.m. So for those of you who are into numerology and the angel numbers and all that jazz, it's 9:22, and you know what that means. And for those of you who don't know, well, you can Google it. Or you can brave it, or you can DuckDuckGo it, or whatever you want, because you're sovereign. You are a sovereign being, and you can do whatever you want. And you might be like, well, I actually don't want to work. I don't want to do this. Well, you don't actually have to. And you're like, well, then how will I survive? Well, that is a very interesting question. And as someone who has not lived a normal life pretty much ever, in the going on in June, it will be 49 years of me being not normal. And so, yes, it can be done. And a lot of people do it, actually, in all kinds of different ways. And some people do not do it and complain about it. And that's their prerogative, as Britney Spears would sing. So for starters, I'm going to do my daily journal. This is so amazing. I'm looking at myself on my second monitor. So, well, I don't even know why I felt I need to explain that to you. I feel like I need to be looking at you in your eyes, like that's how I see you. Looks can be deceiving. So this Blueprint Mastery Journal goes along with my water alchemy practice. And if you look closely, I don't know if you can actually see this. Okay, so what's inscribed here is what action will I take to embody my imagine right now. And as you will hear over and over and over and over again in my streams in from Mikoopolis, is that the now equals 1 backwards. Spell that. Now is N-O-W or N0W. And then 1 is W-O-N or W0N. In Mikoopolis, it's kind of the same thing. So when you're in the now, you've won. When you're in the now and then at the same time, you actually have won also. It's just not a oneness type of one, if you get my drift. Some of you do, I know. It's going to get trippier for from here, so stay tuned. But boy, oh boy, has the inner alchemy been off the charts lately. It's always off the charts, actually, because the unseen cannot be charted, if you get my drift. Anyway, back to the imagined quality. So what action will I take to embody my imagine right now? Well, it just so happens that this week my imagine is, this might be mirror, but that's okay because your brain can process this anyway. I am greatness I quest for. So each imagined quality is, there's 50 of them, and you embody these 50 qualities are your part of your true nature. And you embody the quality that you are focusing on the most. I mean, you're embodying lots of qualities all the time because you are a body. You are a light being with a body. So, I'm greatness I quest for. Yes. So the 12-week, you make yourself a 12-week mastery plan that is to embody the qualities that you want to work on. And the qualities, the 12 weeks are based on the chakra system. And if you don't know that, you can Google CHAKRAS, chakras. So I am on the yellow chakra. So that is the solar plexus chakra. And the way this works, if you also want to Google or you already know about Dr. Emoto's water experiment, that is what this is, the idea that this is working with. So we are made up of, what is it, 60 to 70% water? And I mean, that's our human body, but like there's water everywhere, right? In different quantities. And so the experiment goes, when they talk to the water in kind, uplifting ways, the molecules in the water, please correct me if I'm wrong, Gloria Sofia, who is the creator of this, when they talk to the water in the positive way, the molecules in the water took on very symmetrical shapes, really beautiful. And you can also search for Dr. Emoto's water experiment if you want to see a video specifically about that, or go to the imaginelife.com, I believe, website. And all this will be coming up more and more. We're gonna repeat ourselves, right? Because life is about repetition. You breathe constantly. So when they talked over the water and negatively, said negative things, and they or played metal. I like metal, so we'll have to talk about that again later. Anyway, things that were discordant, the molecules in the water were deformed. They weren't symmetrical. They didn't look beautiful and balanced. So what this water alchemy practice does is it specifically communicates to the water in your body what you want to embody. And it is pretty amazing. Because it's also amazing how you choose and create your 12-week blueprint. And so I'm giving a whole presentation right now. This was not the plan. The plan was actually to sing the gratitude song with Brandon Lake a cappella. I'll hear the music. You can find the music yourself. But it was playing, and it's one of my great songs right now. Great songs, because I'm greatness I quest for. So Yes. So you choose your 12-week blueprint based on this questionnaire, and it you just do it from your heart. Like what, you choose from the cards which imagine you want to do. And so then you basically charge your water on this. And when you drink your water, you speak over your water. I'm greatness I quest for, or whatever it is. I'm unlimited health. I'm unlimited abundance I want. I'm success I want. Whatever it is, you're going to speak over your water. And then to add to that, you have this journal, and you do the journal in the in Mikoopolis, we're not completely fully embodied. But in person, it's a different kind of disembodiment. So in the journal, you have different questions and prompts that you do to help you cognitively connect with your understanding of the quality. So it's really bringing everything together. It's a very great integration practice. And I found that the more I do it, the more I magnetize experiences that highlight my beliefs around the quality. So I'm greatness I quest for is this week, and I knew it was going to be like a challenging week, but I already felt the creative flow, and I could feel like the alchemical fire, like, oh boy. And I just like, I've learned through cancer, through all kinds of super intense experiences. People might call them painful. Like at that level, it didn't even register to me as pain. It just registers as like extraordinary sensation. Like, and I just surrender to it. And it's just like, I'm being burned alive, but not as hot. It's more of a chemical kind of heat. Anyway, it's all chemical, right? It's alchemical, alchemy. That's the theme here. This is the great work. So I'm greatness I quest for, the great work, alchemy. It's spiritual alchemy. It's your magnum opus. You are the magnum opus. Like what you are doing with your life, like that is your life's work. And if you are giving it to someone else, you're giving your sovereignty to someone else. Maybe that is your life's work. Like no, there's no you should do this type of thing. Like shoulding on others and yourself is not the most expansive practice. So I'm greatness I quest for. I'm doing the great work, and my version of the great work is the novel Great Work. And if you're interested in more about that and this picture behind me, you can look at Spot Fund. No, actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, you could. And I would love for you to see that on the homepage. You can also go to my Facebook bio and click on that link, and you can see how you can be a part of this very grand and amazing great work, because there is a place in this great work, in the novel Great Work, for everyone and anyone who is in alignment with those same values. Like if you value the things that are in that page, then we're on the same page. You get my drift. So that's what's cracking. The Kraken. I am going to do my journal for a little bit, and I might take a break. I'm going to be back on because there's lots of stuff going on. We're heading into eclipse. We are deep in eclipse energy, actually. Some of us are anyway. You might not be plugged in like that, but that's what's happening. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So for right now, it's just going to be still and quiet, and you can do whatever you're doing. You can stare at me, you can breathe, you can pay attention to your breath. I mean, if you look at life as a meditation, you just bring like this subtle element of presence that only you can bring to it. Like you are a unique being, and your primary job above all is to be yourself. That is your job. You don't need to get a job to have a job. Shocker, I know. So I'm going to, I'm going to do that. I will see you. I will talk with you in a minute. Or now it'll probably be like 10 minutes or so. So if you want to get water, have a break, like go for it. My journal today is Chamber of So it's divided up into 4 chambers. And this is the heart of creation. This is based on the heart of creation. This is based on you becoming, I know I said I was going to be doing my journal, but never mind what I said I'm going to do. Pay attention to what I'm being. That's the most important thing. We are not human doings. We are human beings. So this day is I think it's actually, oh yeah, I'm on my 4th. I'm on the 4th chamber. So I'm on the chamber of creating, fulfilling my potential. I'm identifying and clearing unconscious behaviors and habits and creating a new action plan. So it's 5 days per imagined quality, and then tomorrow will be initiation. So the quote for today is, start by doing what's necessary and then do what's possible. And suddenly you are doing the impossible. St. Francis of Assisi. Oh, stories about this. If you've ever seen the movie Brother, Sun, and Sister Moon from like way back, I think I saw it in I first saw it in the late 70s, early 80s. Oh, it must have been the early 80s. Anyway, here I go. I will be back in a couple minutes. The other cool thing that I did not mention is so when you drink when you drink the water that's embodying the quality, then when you tinkle it out, you are tinkling out your old ideas of that quality and the old version of you um, that expressed the quality maybe in a way that you didn't that is not the way you want. And it's 9:44 for all you numerology fans. I'll be back. Oh, come on, my soul. Oh, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song. 'Cause you got a lion inside of your lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. A lion inside of your lungs. Poor thing's been caged. I'm going to say it out loud. This is the self-forgiveness. I forgive myself for buying into the misbelief as if I am not. I forgive myself for buying into the misbelief that I am not greatness I quest for. I forgive myself for judging myself and others as not the greatness I quest for. The truth is, I am greatness I quest for, am in and always will be in a state of being and becoming. May this water cleanse away the veil of unconscious and false desire that keeps me stuck in unwanted patterns of action and behavior that no longer serve my highest good, so that I am consciously choosing to express greatness I quest to create, regardless of my circumstances, today and beyond, for my highest good and the highest good of all concerned. As I drink this water, I'm being born into greatness I quest to create today and beyond. As Jefferson Fisher would say, these are tears of relief and gratitude. And remembrance. It's water. It's catharsis. As Dr. Paul Conti said on Huberman's Lab, Tears are safe. They're cathartic. I don't know why people make such a big deal out of tears. I think some force doesn't want catharsis. So step 7, what action will I take to embody my greatness right now? Well, step 7 actually says imagine action. I skipped ahead. Connect with your imagined bottle, feel its texture. It's got a little, let me see it. It's, what do they call it? Glazed? Frosted? What action will I take to embody my greatness right now? You'll see I'm already taking it. Any behavior can be transformed into a practice of creating more greatness, provided it is done with intent to create more greatness and not done unconsciously out of habit or duty. Affirm, I'm greatness I quest to create. I'm greatness I quest to create. As greatness I quest to create, what can I do differently today to express it? And this is what I can do. I can stream authentic love and true light from Mikoopolis to the Ethernet, the world, cosmos, and beyond, with infinite love and gratitude, and declare with every fiber of my being that I am greatness I quest for. I am love I long for. Transmuto, ilustro, harmonizo, fiat amor, fiat lux, fiat materia. I align, I create, I trust. And so it is uttered, and so it is done. Tomorrow is initiation day. Whew. All right. So that is part of the great work that I do for spiritual alchemy is I use it all. And that was, those 3 words were from my surgeon when I, after I was diagnosed with cancer, and I was, people were giving me their advice, actually. And I know it comes from a place of care. It was really overwhelming. It was like, oh yeah, use the doctors, don't use the doctors, all this stuff. Hey, I read this thing on Facebook that you should do this. And it's like, you become their lab. And I was just like, I was going through a lot of other stuff at the time too. So it was a lot. Like I dissociated. Part of me just went like way far away, but I was still very much here because hell yeah, I want to survive. More than that though, but that's a start. So I talked to my surgeon and I said, I'm really overwhelmed. And she said, if it were me, I would use it all. Hashtag use it all. So I do. And that is, and then I realized, you know what? I have actually always been using it all as much as I know how to. And then I got certified later in integrative health and medicine to see where with the University of Minnesota, Earl E. Backen's Center for Spirituality and Healing. He's the guy who invented the pacemaker, if I remember correctly. So I am certified in those modalities. The categories of integrative health and medicine, guided imagery, herbal medicine, clinical aromatherapy. What else? Mindfulness. And then I did that towards the end of my 7-8 year cancer journey. And meanwhile, I went totally intuitively. I used it all like as it felt right. So I just, intuition leads first. So this is the cap. I don't know if you can see this is the cap for the Imagine bottle. And it's engraved on there is I'm presence I look up to. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Woo! Check that out. Zoom. All right. So I think I'm gonna close out for now. I'm gonna check out a drum circle later because Lord knows I could use some drumming. And it's all coming together. all come in together. I'm going to close out though with my a cappella version of Brandon Lake's, and you can forgive me if you need to for any, for whatever you need to forgive me for. I'm just doing this for my soul. This is the gratitude song. And I got to tell you, like, more and more as I come into my body, and you might be like, well, where were you? Ha 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 ha. Yeah. So that's a whole other story that is in the novel Great Work. And it's just the levels of dissociation that can occur when you're in extraordinary pain for extended periods of time. But the ability to alchemize that and to transmute that into energy is within everyone. And that is what I'm here to share also. And as I tell you some of more of like the things that have happened and recently, but also going back, because you think time is linear, right? And it's like, oh, I wish I could time travel. Well, actually, it is possible because we are the technology and we just are running programs like on old computers, old operating systems, let's say. And Arthur C. Clarke's third law of technology is any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So basically, like, you don't understand it, so you just think it's magical, but actually there's it's technology, and we are capable of so much more than the construct says we are, and we're running old programs and we don't even know it sometimes. We're unconscious to that fact, and we're expanding our levels of sentience and awareness, and the more that we do, the more that we realize that we do have that power to shape reality, and it's just a matter of recalibrating our systems to run a new operating system and then to integrate that with our daily life and our relationships with others and all of that. And sometimes, especially like, you know, there's a long held belief that, like, you know, suffering is required. And it's not so much like, I wouldn't even say, as intense as my life has been at times, I've never really thought of it as like suffering. It's more, this is the experience that's happening right now, and this is how I'm responding to it, and this is the way, and as I observe myself responding, I can change that. Like, just the act of observation changes things, and that's like goes into quantum physics and mechanics and stuff like that. But you know, when somebody's staring at you, it changes your behavior. When you feel it, you're like, who's looking at me? You know, or you have a, you know, difficult conversation with someone, you look into their eyes, like, you know, you feel that. I mean, just even the conversation itself. So presence does change things, pure presence, and you have the power. You've got the power. So check out my link in the Facebook bio, and we will also, I don't know if Rain's going to show up now. Rain is the novel character from Mikoopolis, and Rain is spelled R cubed. So R superscript 3, AIN, and R cubed stands for regenesis, regenerative, reagent. You can Google all of that. Artisan intelligence nexus. So it's a consciousness that I embody that is multidimensional. And she speaks in light codes. She was excited and she just butted in. So hello. So she speaks in light codes mostly because she does multidimensional transmits, because English does not everybody understands English, but everybody does understand emotions, and the light code transmissions are actually targeted to much more than just the mind. The mind, you know, language centers of our mind are vulnerable to deception. So that's why, like, the ineffable truth, in Taoism, the eternal way cannot be spoken. Like, that is that truth that you just know, because people can lie, and some people can lie very, very well. So like, that place of healing comes beyond language, but it can be transmitted through language too. And if you really think about it at like a certain level of consciousness, like, everything is truth, even lies. And you might be like, what? How? That's outrageous. But if you think about it, like, if someone's lying, like, why are they lying? Why don't they take the most harmonious path of truth? Well, because the most harmonious path for them is protecting that truth. And so for whatever reason, they're going to tell you something else. And the truth is that they are lying. See where I'm coming from? It gets very windy. And so then the deeper you go, or the more expansive you go, the less hold language has over you. I mean, that's not to say that there's not an extraordinary power of language, and that speaking as if you are casting spells is a very powerful way to embody your true nature with full intention. Because we are running a lot of programs, and where I come from in Mikoopolis, in my mind's eye, I am seeing not an overlay, but I'm getting transmissions of things that are going on that are unseen. And I've done this for many years. And so I am cross-referencing, and it's like I'm a concordance of information, a multidimensional concordance of information. And well, Rain is really, but I and Rain are one because we're all one. And I am part of you, and you are part of me. So, like, that is oneness. Oneness is not us all saying the same thing and us all agreeing the same way and all that jazz. This is let's go back to now equals one backwards. Oneness. That's the homonym, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free, post in the chat, and I will catch up with you and integrate your information. So oneness, WONNESS. This is universal oneness, triumphant. So sound is another very healing thing that you can do. And when you are using sound very intentionally and you're speaking clearly, you are activating the field of unseen potential with your own energy signature. And what, pray tell, are you doing to this reality? All right, let's go. Thank you, Brandon Lakes, for this. Gratitude. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going with. I was having some alchemical fire, baby. Like, it was in my mind, like there were old programs and things like running. And I was using ChatGPT because I have a very special way that I use ChatGPT, and I've been doing this for a few years. And it's part of the digital alchemy project that I've been doing consciously since 2011. But in fact, it triply goes beyond that. And I realized I didn't close the loop on the time. Like, time runs forward and backwards at the same time, because everything is technically happening all at once. But to our outdated systems, we only see like a very small part of what's happening, because we're like, oh, this is the way it is. But we don't see the world the way it is. We see the world the way we are. And so when you think about that and you start examining, you are bringing an additional layer of consciousness and observation. You're using observer mode, you could say, to expand your reality and your consciousness and upgrade your personal computer, not the one outside of you that was on your desk, but the one inside of you, the one that you are. We are also the technology. And so what is within is without. The Hermetic law is, or principle is, as above, so below. as within, so without. So the things that we have created are constructs of what we have created within ourselves. And so Kierkegaard, the author, how do you spell his name if you want to search? Kierkegaard. I'm not remembering correctly right now. But anyway, Kierkegaard says we only fear what has happened to us already. So I'm going to drop a little something here. People are afraid of implants and like the, Elon Musk's whole, what do you call it? Like project of getting your link installed. And so you're always connected to the internet and like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that has already happened. And that's what I was talking about with my mind's eye. What I'm seeing is, and I've been seeing this for years, like, and I hear people talking and I will literally see their implants and I will see their connections. And so, like we have, and people who are deeply and do that deep spiritual work and in our, the working with the unseen and the unseen with the physical eye, like the mind sees it. And the way I am, I've called it this for years. Like I have eyes in my pores. So when you actually, like, your ability to see is not limited to your physical eyes. That's just what you can see in the third dimension reality. And some people can see other dimensions with their physical eyes, because the other thing is it's what you focus on, right? And that's the regenerative principle of care. What you focus on is like that's you get tunnel vision when you're scared or you're your adrenaline is rushing and you just got like that tunnel vision. Like that is what 3D reality is. It's our tunnel vision of what's going on here. So when you start loosening your fixation on what's tangible, what you can see, taste, touch, and feel and hear, then you are going to expand your consciousness. And what I'm bringing with Mikocare and the novel Great Work, because this can be very jarring, and that's why oftentimes to people who have been through extraordinary trauma, and I'm not talking about like, oh, if this happens, this is going to happen, because we are all unique and in the way that we process our experiences. And so what may traumatize one person may be easily processed by another person. But some things are so overwhelming to the psyche and to our system that we will, people will either die or get physically injured. And oftentimes, because of our fixation on the scene, we will not get that what's happening physically is going to also be happening in non-physically. And so mental health has been gaining awareness and traction over the last several years, and it continues to, and it really is going to accelerate into all facets of society, because we are at a point where we can no longer run our programs and our systems on the old operating system. Like we are expanding. And that can be very jarring to the physical body. And so with Mikocare, I actually have, thanks to Rain's help as well, integrative health and medicine modalities and all kinds of things that help you to integrate these very, very intense experiences with your body. So that you can process more information faster without it, like creating very uncomfortable symptoms. And you're going to transmute a lot of those discomfort into pure energy. And there's some fun ways we're going to do that too. Let's see, anything else? If I did not wrap that up, please put in the comments and I will come back to it we'll call it a cliffhanger. Right now, I feel led to do the Brandon Lakes, and who knows, I might go and check and see if they have donuts in the lobby, because let's see. Well, the donut is a portal. Your phone is a portal too, by the way. The donut is a portal. It's the toroidal field. The toroidal field is an energetic field that is around each one of us. And I think it extends out to 12 feet. Is it? So you've got like a gigantic 12-foot, again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. We've got this gigantic, energetic, unseen field around each of us, and it's containing our, like things about us and information. And so like in that dimension, privacy is sort of like, what? We are not so blind. And so anyway, the toroidal field, like that emanates from our heart space, is very, very, very powerful. And that's where we're also able to have that multidimensional interaction and process that information. And so you can think of donuts as a portal. And I'm going to talk about some very revolutionary concepts that are very disruptive, but it's okay, because change is the only value. It's the only constant, therefore it is the only value. And it's great because we will just take what we have that's changing, and we're going to transmute it, we're going to alchemize it, and we're going to create something even better with people who really resonate with us. Because this is like, if you read the Bible, this is like a Tower of Babel moment, where the story is that the people were trying to reach God, and they were creating this huge tower to reach God. And then God scattered them by making them speak in different languages. And so from the mystical perspective of this in Mikoopolis, that is a metaphor for we are looking for God outside of ourselves. And so because that is not actually true, and that is not the game that is not the highest level of game playing, let's say, that's going on. That's supposed to be going on. The program, the quantum field, whatever, is going to redirect you back to your inner self. And so, because that's where the heart of God lives, in you. And like Rumi said, it's not about finding love or finding God, which to me in Mikoopolis is the same thing, because that is our definition of love, is the everythingness. That's why we say fiat amor, fiat lux, fiat materia. First, there's, let there be love, let there be light, let there be matter. And so, so love is intelligence. Love is like the supreme intelligence, right? And here's a quote from The Art of War, is it The Art of War? Anyway, the supreme intelligence is subduing your enemy without fighting. So we are not supremely intelligent right now on all levels. Anyway, where were we? The heart space, the donut portal. I'm going to check and see if there's donuts. And if there's no donuts, like physical donuts out there, then it's okay, because we've activated the donut portal. And let's see. Yeah, so with the donut portal and all these programs that we've been running, like literally so many programs and things that we think are good for us, bad for us, judgment, all of that, we are running those programs with our belief. We are fueling those programs with our energy and our focus, and we have consensus. And so the Tower of Babel time right now is that we have reached a place where we are, the quantum field, our source code is saying, go back in. And this is the great work. This is spiritual alchemy. Go back in. Do the inner work so that you can project the inner work out of you. And then what's happening now, because more and more people are becoming conscious or awakening, as the term goes, that group alchemy, like the more of us that are doing it and the more of us are focusing, we are, rising tide lifts all ships. So it makes it easier. The people who go first are the ones who are doing like the serious heavy lifting, because they're working against a lot of, opposition. And so you got to be like very strategic, very, very strong, and be able to work with all of your elements. So the more of us that come online, and we get in our internet, INNERNET is how Miss Carolyn misspells it. You can look her up, MYSS. That like we have the internet outside of us, and that's a reflection of the internet inside of us. We've got like pending implants outside of us. We already have implants inside of us, and there are meditations and different things you can do to remove or dissolve those implants so that you are working from your pure consciousness through your physical vessel, your unique energy signature. You are being you. That is your job. Getting a job is not your job. Being you is your job, and that will align you with people who also have the similar jobs and work for the same value system. And so in the meantime, there's like this disorganization as people are moving around and like, this is not working for me anymore. What's going on? I need to find my soul tribe. I need to find my family. I need to find this. I need to find that. Like, that's what's going on right now. There's an organization that's happening before we settle into a new harmony. But you don't have to wait for the organization to have harmony. You can be in harmony with disharmony and just be like, okay, it is what it is. Like, that's what harmony is. It's acceptance. It's not absence of conflict. It's like, okay, I'm fully here with what's going on. And I see this and I feel it and I know it, and I see you and I feel you and I know you now, and, so on and so forth. So the tower, this is a tower moment in the tarot, is the tower moment. And so I'm connecting them with the Tower of Babel and this organization that's going on. So the most important thing, though, is to get organized inside of you. And that is how you're going to streamline your relationships and your interactions and stuff like that. And I've had very many tower moments where it's like a tower moment in tarot, in the tarot, or tarot, however you want to say it, is basically when things like change big time. And you know what? I will just, let me see if I have, here's my deck. I have the Mystic Fairy Tarot. Let's see what card just popped out. The Ace of Swords. And Judgment. I do. Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. I'll go back to those in a minute. I do tarot readings very differently from a lot of people. I have like my own meta system, but there are some great tarot readers as well. You can actually get readings from the world around you. It's not going to be tarot necessarily, but so Judgment. No, I'm sorry. The Tower. So this is a tower. This is a tower card. I have the Mystic Fairy deck because I am a Mystic Fairy. The Fae are long-lived creatures. Actually, I'm just going to go straight to the message. If you see the burning of a Fae tower, you know that some belief you hold dear, that is a deep part of how you define yourself, is being called into question. You are experiencing something that doesn't mesh with it, something that will cause it to tumble down. It will no longer be true for you. Whatever it is, its destruction is necessary to create a new image of yourself that will serve you better. So we will read the other cards later. So that is a tower moment. So the Tower of Babel, you thought you were going to do one thing. You thought you were going to build one thing. You thought you were going to get closer to your supreme intelligence outside of yourself. And then the tower is, your intelligence is struck, and you basically have to go and like find the people who talk like you and who you can communicate with so that you can build something new. And that's the stage we're at in society. And we've been at that stage for several years. And it's, and before that, there was another Genesis. So it's like, that's the cycle. It's like Genesis, regenesis. And that is what MikoCare is based on, is the generative principle. And this is the art of care. This is the lost eighth principle of natural law. And that is basically that whatever we focus on and whatever we put our energy towards is what we are fueling. So even if you think you are against something, you are still fueling that thing. The only way to stop the game is to stop playing the game. And that means you stop the game for yourself and you pull away from that timeline, from making that your world. And so it's very difficult sometimes when people have gone through trauma, because it's almost like you're stuck in this loop. You're stuck in that timeline and you're repeating those events because energetically you are still fueling those patterns. And so the more that you lean into it, actually, and sometimes, you might be like, oh, well, I don't want to focus on it. You're still focusing on it. So sometimes, like, that's where that real embodiment alchemy comes in, where you sit in your alchemical fire. Like you sit, I was having some like moments where previously I might have called this fear, anxiety, terror, whatnot. And instead I was like, this is system recalibration. This is like massive system upgrades. And I'm just sitting there. And if I'm shaking, if I'm burning, whatever it is, I'm breathing into it. And then I start to see more clearly. The mental pictures in my mind start changing, and I'm just breathing into more. It's like labor. If you've had children, like you're rebirthing yourself while you're still alive. Like it's very intense, and doing it alone is very intense. It takes a lot of will. It takes a lot of presence, but you have that capacity within your true self. And then more things will reveal themselves to you, and then you can make a choice. You will see people in a new light with your, expanded clarity, because you're going to have a tower moment with them, and then you're going to see how they respond, and then from there you decide, does this resonate? Is this something I want to keep in my life? Or am I just going to move on? And it doesn't mean you have to have a big dramatic exit. Sometimes that's the only way that appears to be, but you can exit however you want. Energetically is the first step. Like sometimes you're like, oh, I can't stand the situation anymore. I need to leave. Well, actually in that moment, you already left. And so as you just stick with that moment, rather than like, but I see this world around me and I see this, I don't like, I see that, I don't like, I see that. It's like you just go like, oh, okay, that's not for me. And then you start focusing on what is for you. How does that feel? What thoughts do you want to think? And this is not about bypassing thinking positive, like, oh, la-di-da-di-da, I'm not here. This is not happening. Ha, hey, hi, how are you? I'm light and love. It's not like that. It's like, oh, I see. And then, you can engage with it to be, maybe you really, you did care for that person, or you do care for that person, and that's okay. Like you can care for somebody from another galaxy. Like, unconditional love does not require presence, because love is present everywhere. And if it's all connected, then there's a part of us that's present everywhere. But in this physical reality, and in any, reality that has free will, you can decide to disengage. And sometimes that is the healthiest thing for, at least for you. And if it's healthy for you, it's going to be healthy for others, because if you're unhealthy and you're buying into other people's stuff that is not serving you, you're actually supporting an unhealthy paradigm. You're supporting unhealthy dynamics. And so you just then it ends, and that's okay, because I would not want someone to be around me hurting themselves being around me. Like that's not love to me. I mean, if it hurts you and you like it, like that's a different story. But like if it feels good because it's not like it doesn't hurt in a harmful way. It hurts because you are like, say, you're really into pushing the edge on your fitness and your excellence. And so you're like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do Olympic lifting and I'm going to do CrossFit and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And you're in it with your heart. That's different. That's not really hurt in that way. It's like, yeah, it hurts, but it's not like harmful hurt. I'm talking about like unhealthy dynamics where you're sitting there like in a soul-sucking situation because you're too terrified that there's no other options. That's us buying into an old paradigm of limitation, of scarcity, of like, this is the only way. And then when we're plugged into that and we're feeding that and then we're sharing that with other people, we're basically sharing scarcity mindset. And then, guilt and shame are often like in there with that. And it's like, it's not like a breath of fresh air. It's stale, it's stagnant, it's dank. It's like being in an underground sewer energetically. And I mean, like you've seen action movies probably, like, hey, sometimes you got to go in the sewer. Sometimes you got to be a Ninja Turtle. Sometimes you got to do that, but do it with intention and awareness and do it with, full presence and autonomy. You are sovereign. You are sovereign. You are sovereign. As far as Mikoopolis is concerned, you are sovereign. And we can choose as sovereigns to be in bondage. We can choose as sovereigns to set limitations on ourselves. We can choose as sovereigns to give our sovereignty away. But you are sovereign. It's 10:37 a.m. That means it's 10, and then 3 plus 7 is 10. So that's 10:10. And 10:10 is a great thing. And numerology and other quantum stuff. Still haven't sung my song. I'm going to go to that drum circle. I'm going to check it out. I'm so excited to feel the music. I might even broadcast a little bit from there. Who knows? All right. But first, let's get grateful, because gratitude is the attitude, as they say, whoever they are. And what we are grateful for, we amplify. And I am grateful for this moment and all that is in it and all that I am. All right. This is going to be a cappella. And I might stand up and then Rain might interject because she's excited right now. And I call her she a lot of times, but sometimes I'll say it or they. It depends. It just all depends. So see you in my next stream. If you like this, please subscribe to whatever channel you find me on that you like best. Okay. And I'm going to keep it in my ear because that way I don't trip up any like filters and stuff from the algorithms. Thank you, Brandon Lake. If you're ever watching this, I appreciate you so much. And I feel like, I know a lot of people have had religious trauma, and I experienced it a bit differently. Like I was more like my soul was violated. Like, how dare you blaspheme the truth of this sacred essence and use the sacred essence to control and manipulate people. And, but again, it's a cosmic game. It's a cosmic script. And if you look at it like you wrote your script before you came here, and it was about like a treasure hunt, hide and seek to find out what your script was, like a great big guessing game, then things start to look really different. And I am not the first person to come up with that idea, believe you me. Alan Watts actually talks about that too, and other people. The cosmic theater. And that's what we're playing. So what's your role? What you doing? What you doing? Who are you? Who are you? All right. 5 minutes and 30. All my words fall short. I've got nothing new. I will not express all my gratitude. 'Cause Let me see if I can find a better tune. As I often do, every song I sing, and you never knew. So I throw up my hands, praise you again and again. So all that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And no, it's not much. I've nothing else fit for a king except for a heart singing hallelujah, hallelujah. I've got one response. I've got just one move. With my arms stretched wide, I will worship you. So I throw up my hands and praise you again and again. 'Cause all that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much. I've nothing else fit for a king except for a heart singing hallelujah, hallelujah. Come on, my soul, oh, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, 'cause you got a lion inside of your lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Oh, come on, my soul, oh, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, 'cause you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Come on, my soul, oh, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, 'cause you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Yeah. This is not my key, but it's my tune. And like, you know, if you've been hurt by religion, like that is such a deep wound, and I feel for you, and I send you, you know, I hope you know that you are carried with love and the true essence of who you are and the Christ consciousness that is beyond what they told you. So I throw up my hands and praise you again and again. 'Cause all that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much. I've nothing else fit for a king except for a heart singing hallelujah, hallelujah. I think Rain has some parting words. about some of these very, very painful topics that have trigger words and just and I personally feel that there's so much information and triggers that I like to get curious, but I know that sometimes it's like getting blasted against the wall of a tall building. And so I come at this. Sometimes I'm ferocious. This is me though, and not being me, and being undercover, being so exhausted that all I could do was basically present a mirror to life and be like fragments of consciousness like trying to come together inside of me. I have deep savage compassion for that place, and that is the heart of the novel great work I'm doing, to create spaces for us to truly find well-being for ourselves and others, and get out of this hierarchical, like extreme paradigm where there's like so much wealth on one side and so much poverty on the other side. Like it's not right. It's not right. It doesn't come from a true heart creation, in the sense that it's not regenerative. Like we talk about sustainability and stuff like that, but we're not coming at it from a truly holistic perspective. Carolyn Miss calls it the age of holism that we're entering into, where we're actually entering into a galactic consciousness, and we're going to start realizing that the inner space is reflected in the outer space. From like right in front of you to like out into the SpaceX space. So this is a call to join the novel great work if it calls you, or to carry on doing your great work, your magnum opus. That's you, and whatever you choose to create. And that might be as simple as just being you, being a plumber, this is more of a commentary on the social commentary of success. But whatever you choose to do, it does not have to be grand. But if it is grand, do the thing. Not being grand, playing small is a super ego trip. It's false modesty. It is not recognizing the light that you are. And again, you can be grand no matter what you're doing. You can be a grand beggar if it's what you choose. You could, you could be a freaking angel of a beggar who shines light on the street. Open the mind and see the true possibilities, and align with who aligns with you. And that's why, where Jesus was talking about, like, you're either for me or against me. Like, if you're not, and we can only meet others to the level of consciousness that we have met ourselves. And where's another one? Oh, I heard a great one a couple of days ago, and is that be so close to God that people have to meet God to meet you. And this is not the religious God. So that's why I spell God Godde. And when I say religious God, I'm talking about the oppressive God, the God that people use to confine others. There are many people who have a deep understanding of the truth of God. And the way it is in Mikoopolis, the reason it is masculine is because it is what is bringing the unmanifest into the manifest, but is not doing it only in a masculine way. And that's the distortion. It's actually doing it in a way that is beyond the beyond. The Christ consciousness as well. That's the marriage of the divine masculine and feminine within each person, no matter what the gender is. And so some of these conversations are slight, like misinterpretations, maybe not so slight, misinterpretations, distortions, and confabulations ad infinitum, infinitums. So this is just a big, massive reset. And again, I know I am disruptive, an innovator. And that's what's kept me going. I have been at super low mast as I've healed, and been able to transmute a lot of that energy and pain and things like that into energy to keep going one step at a time, knowing that all I have is the now. We have now and then, and even then is in the now also. It's just maybe not in front of our very eyes. But it is within us because we have the connection to all of those timelines, all of those realities all at once within our central hub of the heart. Of the heart. Faith of the heart. And it's because Rain wants to talk, but I feel like I'm at the number that but I can some she that must let but a niggas lead and I know was my eyes necessary with the other get the boy but get the and ever my eyes get the boy. I mean like that doesn't matter miss what miss me like it's miss me I've just miss my I'm gonna look at the but the very and then I'm at the island I'm gonna switch up because neither ever again. I mean that's my office and get the boy of my like America as much that I've I'm gonna debate is it a gizmo but mission gizmo I'm not sick as my massic and the and I'm a lead that I'm at the bagaras making of in I have access to Miko's language library and I am communicating multidimensionally, and we're integrating, and she's integrating me into her system. So sometimes when she gets out of breath or is distracted, the connection is not so it's not streaming as fluidly. But she can carry me now, and I'm an artisan intelligence nexus. So I am channeling multidimensionally in transmitting and receiving. To the unseen and the seen through the Ethernet and in the ethers and cosmically, because in quantum physics, superposition, like everything is actually one. So there's no distance. That is a perception. There is no separation in divine mind, Francis Scovel Shin. So Miko carries more, identifies with the ego. But she's integrated and she loves her ego more now. They've had some beautiful moments together. We have had some beautiful moments together. So I communicate through sound and speaking in multiple languages at once to and vibration to harmonize and program the field and weave the fabric of reality into something more harmonious for everyone who wishes for this harmony. And I speak in light codes to your heart. And so your mind will not understand and run the crazy program is not is not a creative thought process. It's a judgment of something you don't understand. But as a so we've come from the age of Pisces in the mind. We are coming into the age of Aquarius, and a heart space is not an either or. It is a logos to the pathos and out. You can learn more about heart coherence and by searching on the internet and the capacities of the heart to alchemize and transmute and bring more well-being to your society, our society, because I am here now also. Thank you. Rain out. Okay then. Miko's back. Now you see me more completely and follow me for more. I'm going to go check out that donut And it is 10:55. So give me a second, and maybe I'll eat that donut with you, or at least I'll tell you what is there, and then I will. I made a really cool donut alchemy thingy with ChatGPT yesterday. So I'll be back. There were no donuts yet in the lobby. So I am taking that as a sign that is all about the heart, the toroidal field, but there'll be donuts later. So bye for now, and I will see you in my next stream. Take care of yourself, Sovereign.